Hi, I'm Dr. Renee and I'm a clinical advisor for Testing for All. I'm going to show you today how to take the blood sample for the kit that you've ordered. So first things first, you will have received your kit in an envelope like this through the post. The first thing I want you to do when you get that kit and open it is to take out this leaflet. There's something really important that you need to do before we actually get to the nitty-gritty of taking some blood. On the first page of the blood collecting leaflet, there's something called Activate Your Test. This is really important. So before you do anything else, go to the Testing for All app, and the directions are here. Use the barcode, which is on a label inside your envelope, and you will see that as we go through the sample taking technique. And using the code on that label, you need to register your test and activate it in the app for you. One thing that's really important is if you're with more than one person who might be taking this test, you can't use the same account to activate their test. So please, go to the app, make an account for yourself and activate your test. And anybody else around you who's doing a test, be that a family member or a colleague, must do the same. They must activate their test within their own account that they set up for them. And that's absolutely crucial for getting the results back to you. So we're now going to look at the contents of this envelope and take you through how to do the sample. So, as you can see, I've unpacked the envelope that I showed you and I've laid out the contents in an easy to access way in a place that's convenient for me to do a blood sample. And it really needs to be just somewhere that works for you. There's no particular place that you need to do it. I think it's helpful to lay everything out in this way so that it's easy to access as you work your way through the 17 steps that are outlined in the instruction kit. It's really important to follow these steps to make sure that your test sample is taken in the correct way and that it can be analysed once it's sent to the laboratory. So as you can see here, I've got the instruction leaflet, I've got the envelope that I'll send the testing back in, I've got 3 lancets, which are small needles to make the blood sample whole. I have a label that I will fill out with my date of birth, time and date and put around the sample when it's finished. I've got some plasters and I have a cleaning pad. That's everything you need at hand, and I would recommend doing this before you start. So now we're ready to get going with the test itself. In step 1, we recommend taking the sample from your little finger of your non-dominant hand. So that means if you're right-handed, then take it from your left, and if you're left-handed, take it from your right. We recommend this finger as being the one that will be the most successful for taking your sample. The next step is to actually prepare your hands to take the sample. The only thing that I've done here is to actually take the lid off of the bottle and leave the bottle standing and ready with the lancet by it, so that I'm absolutely ready to take the sample once my hands are washed and warm. So the next step is to actually wash your hands in warm water for at least 2 minutes. Your hands need to be clean, so washing them for 20 seconds in soap itself, as I'm doing now, is really important to make sure they're absolutely clean. Once you've been washing for at least 20 seconds, you need to keep your hand under running water, which is warm, but obviously not too hot, for at least 2 minutes. If you want to at this stage, you can actually submerge your hand in the warm water that's collecting in the sink, which is what I'm doing here. And I'm leaving my entire hand in the warm water for 2 minutes. You can either do it this way or keep it under the running water. The most important thing is that warm water is covering the entire hand for 2 minutes prior to taking the sample. The next step, once you've dried your hand after taking it out of the warm water or the running water, is to use the alcohol swab to wipe the finger that you're going to use for the test thoroughly. And when you've done that, dry it with a clean tissue. You must make sure that it is completely dry, because if your finger is still wet, the blood won't form a droplet at the puncture hole. Okay, so you're now ready to take your blood sample, the really important bit. So this is how you get ready to do that. This is the lancet. That's what's going to make the puncture in your finger where the blood will flow. The first thing you need to do is prime this. What that means is hold the lancet firmly, take the yellow cap and pull it off. This is now primed and ready to go. You won't be able to see a needle, but it's there and it will do its job as soon as you deploy it. Now the way to deploy this is really important. You want the finger that you've chosen on a firm surface. As I've said, we recommend the little finger of the non-dominant hand. You hold the lancet like this and you press really firmly in the area where you want to make the hole. So we suggest doing it at the tip and the side of that finger. So as you can see, I am pressing really firmly into that little finger before I start. And it's important to maintain that pressure of the lancet on the finger. And then place this finger on the white button on the top and simultaneously pressing down hard into the finger, press this button at the same time. And you will see that the lancet has made a small hole from where you will collect your sample. The next step is to wipe the first sample of blood away from the hole with the alcohol swab. Now, with your hand held downward and holding the bottle, or holding it over the bottle, you can start to drip the blood into the container. If you think that the blood is starting to slow, take your clean tissue and just wipe the finger at the top. Wait for 5 to 10 seconds for a new blood drop to form as it is here and start dripping it in again. Once you've filled the collection tube to the required line, which is clearly marked, stop filling, take a plaster, and I took mine out of the pack before I started, place it over the hole to stop the bleeding. The next step is to put the cap on the bottle and seal it firmly. So the way to do this is hold the base of the bottle, take the cap, place it on the top of the bottle, and then with a finger on the top, press down hard so that you hear a clear click. Like that. Then once you've done that, take the bottle and invert it like this 5 to 10 times. When you've done that, your sample is ready to label and then send. Now you are ready to fill out the label, so all you need to do here is just write in your date of birth and then the time, so the hour, I think right now, let's say that's the hour, the minutes, the date and the month. Once you've done that, you're ready to actually apply it to the bottle. Now you can take the label off of the backing, put it face down like this, and lay the collection tube in the centre of the label on the sticky side. Fold the label around the bottle like this so that these two sides stick together around the label. You can clearly see this barcode, which is really important, and you can see the date that you took the sample and your date of birth. Now you're ready to put the bottle into this container that you've got. It might be a long one like this that could take 2 bottles, or it may be a shorter one, but the practice is exactly the same. You just wrap that barcode label around and then you place it inside here. The lid goes into the bigger part, the label is secure, and you close the container. Now you're ready to post your sample to Testing for All. So take the sample in its protective packaging and place it inside the envelope. What you also want to put into the envelope is the used lancet, but also any spares, because that saves you disposing of needles. We'll do that for you. So now you can seal the envelope. It's already got a label on it, and you can take it to a designated post box, and the instructions for this are in your kit. So, great news! We've done all the nasty bit. Your blood is in the bottle and ready to send back to us for your result. This is also very easy. I've shown you how to put it into the envelope and seal it with your information. If you go to the very last page of the blood sample collection kit, you'll find here detailed instructions on how to post your kit. Most post boxes now have been allocated for priority blood samples for COVID testing. You'll find the nearest one to you if you go to the Royal Mail website, and the address is on here, and it will tell you exactly where to post your test. Don't go into the post office, even if the post box is outside, and hand it in over the counter. They won't take it. You put it into the post box, and most of them will have an identifying label, but you can track yours down using your postcode at the Royal Mail website, and all of the instructions are on here. So, thanks for following this through. I hope it all went smoothly, and we look forward to receiving your test.